In this lecture here, we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping. The first thing we're going to talk about is the distance and midpoint formulas. So if you have 2 points, how can you find the distance between those 2 points? And then, if you have 2 points on a line, let's just say, how do you find the midpoint of those 2 points? And then what we'll do at the end is we'll talk about circles, how you find what the equation of a circle is, and how you sketch the graph of circles. Okay, so what we'll do first, our objectives here, we'll find the distance between 2 points, and we'll find the midpoints of a line segment. Then we'll talk about how you write the standard form of a circle's equation. Then if you give the center and radius of a circle whose equation is in standard form, so how you do that, if you have the standard form, how can you glean what the center and radius is of the circle? And then finally, we'll talk about how you convert the general form of a circle's equation to standard form. And this one is a little bit more complex, and just will require completing the square. So I'm going to complete this square very, very quickly when I get to this last example when I do this. So if you need a little bit more refresher on how to recall how you complete the square, you can go back. I have another video lecture on completing the square. Okay, so first off, distance is really easy. So the distance d between 2 points, so the point x1, y1, and the point x2, y2, and the rectangular coordinate system is just given by this, okay? It's really, what you're doing is you're deriving the quadratic, or the Pythagorean theorem. So if you have 2 points here, you want to find the distance here. This is d. You can see that's the hypotenuse of this right triangle, okay? So you can just see that, if this is leg 1, this distance here would be x2 minus x1. This distance here would be another leg of the triangle would be y2 minus y1. So what you'd have is d squared is equal to x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And then just solving for d, you just square root it, okay? So to compute the distance between 2 points, find the square of the difference between the x-coordinates plus the square of the difference of the y-coordinates, and then the principal square root of this sum is just the distance. So you just take the square root of it. So it's very, very easy formula to follow. So let's do this example. So let's find the distance between this point here, -1, -3. So this is my x1, y1. And the point 2, 3. This is my x2, y2. All right, let's express the answer in simplified radical form, and then we'll round to 2 decimal points. So distance is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so you just straight follow the formula. It's the square root. So x2 here is 2. Minus x1, which is minus 1 squared, plus y2, so this is 3, minus y1, which is minus 3. So this becomes the square root of, this is 2 plus 1, 3 squared, plus this becomes 3 plus 3 is 6 squared. So this is the square root of 9 plus 36, which is the square root of 45. Okay, so let's take this and show in simplified radical form. So the square root of 45, right, this is the same thing as the square root of 9 times 5. Square root of 9 is 3. All right, 2 decimals. So this you're going to need a calculator for. So you just go square root of 45. This is 6.71 when I round to 2 decimal places, 6.71. And there you go. So it's just following the formula. I don't really need to do too many examples here. It's just follow the formula. Okay. Very, very quickly, it's the same thing with the midpoint. So consider a line segment, okay, whose endpoints are x1, y1, and x2, y2. The coordinates of the segment's midpoint, okay, so if you have, a line segment like this. This is x1, this is x2, this is y1, and this is y2. Well, the midpoint here would be x1 plus x2 divided by 2. And the y midpoint would be y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay, so really just to find the midpoint, take the average of the two x coordinates and the average of the two y coordinates. Very, very, very straightforward. All right, so let's find the midpoint of the line segment who has endpoints 1, 2. So this is my x1, y1. And 7, negative 3. This is my x2, y2. All right, so the midpoint. So it's a point. So you're going to take x1 plus x2. So it's 1 plus 7 divided by 2. Comma y1, 2 plus minus 3 divided by 2. Well, this is, 7 plus 1 is 8 over 2. This becomes minus 1 over 2. So you can just simplify this fraction, and you see that the midpoint is the point 4, 1/2. Very, 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 very straightforward. Just straight up follow the formula. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, what we want to now talk about is a circle, right? And so a circle we've all seen before. My circle is going to be terrible. That's actually not too bad. But this is kind of like a circle here. So a circle is the set of all points in a plane that are equidistant from a fixed point called the center. Okay, so this would be the center. The fixed distance from the circle's center to any point is called the radius. So this would be, we denote that as r. And it's all points that rotate around this center that are all distance r from the center. It's all these points here. Okay, that's what makes up a circle. And so what we want to talk about now is how you find the equation of a circle. It's very, it's a simple process, and it can be made complex. You'll see with the last example, it can be a little complex. But what I want to do in the following lectures here, or following slides here, is show you how to find the equation of a circle, how to sketch a circle. Okay, so the standard form of the equation of a circle with center HK. Okay, so you're going to have this circle in the Cartesian plane, okay? And the center of the circle is going to be the point HK. Okay, this is a really terrible circle, but you get the idea. Okay, there's the center. And the radius r, okay, is that right there. When you know to find the, so this is important, to find the standard form of the equation, you need to know the center point and the radius. That's it, okay? That's it. That's all you need to know. Then the equation would be x minus h squared plus, and then in parentheses, y minus k squared is equal to r squared. Okay, so just remember, h and k are the center, and r here is the radius. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I want to give you some information, and then what we want to do is take that information and write the equation of the circle. Okay, so write the standard form of the equation of a circle with center. Okay, so I'm giving you the center. So the center is the point HK, and what we're saying here is the center is 0, negative 6. And the radius, r, is 10. Well, if you look back, the equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. Well, look, my h is 0, so this is x minus 0 squared plus y. Well, this is y minus, now my k is minus 6, so it would be double negative here, so we have to clean that up, is equal to the r squared. I'm sorry, I just wrote r there first, but so this would be 10 squared. All right, well, x minus 0 is just x. I'm forgetting the squareds here. Huh. X minus 0 is just x, so this is just x squared plus negative becomes a positive. This is y plus 6 squared and then we're going to square this. 10 squared gets me 100. And this right here, this is the standard form, okay? This is telling me, look, it's x minus h, but there's no h there. So the x center is 0. This plus this double negative here, right, turns into a positive. So this tells me that the k value, the y value of the center is -6. All right, let's do another one, and then we'll sketch the circle. Write the standard form of an equation of a circle with center, okay, -2, -1, and radius 3. Okay, so again, you're given the center, which is the point HK, which is -2, 1. Okay, so look, I'm going to go to the point -2, 1 here. Okay, and I'm just going to denote that with the dot, so I know that's the center. And the radius, my r, is 3. So it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So this is x minus h, well this is -2, plus y minus k, so this is y minus 1 squared, is equal to 3 squared. Double negative, so I would write this as x plus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared is equal to 9. So if I wanted to sketch this by hand, here's what I would do. I would go, okay, so the radius is 3. Okay, so I'm going to go out 1, 2, 3, one side, 1, 2, 3, up another, 1, 2, 3 over here, then 1, 1, 2, 3. And you see how I have these 4 points? Not my best work, but terrible drawing, okay? Okay, but you get the idea. And you can see here right there the radius there. This radius is 3, and it's not my best work, okay? But you get a rough idea. Okay, let's take this one here. So here you're given the standard form, and what I want to do is I want to glean from this, right? I want to figure out from this what is the center, okay? All right, so do you notice how there's a plus here, right? So the form needs to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So look, I have a plus here, so I'm going to go, this is -3, minus 3, okay, because that'll get me back to the plus. And what number squared gets me 4? That'd be 2, right? So now you can look, this is my h, and this is my k. So the center is that point HK, and it's -3, 1. And here the radius is equal to r, so it's r squared, so this is 2 squared, so the radius here is 2. All right. Now you can have what's called the general form of the equation of a circle. Okay, so the general form is x squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0. And this is where d, e, and f are real numbers. And so the general form doesn't tell us what the center is and what the radius is. So what I want to do is I want to take a number, okay, some type of equation, okay, and let me show you what that's going to look like here. Okay, let's look at x squared plus y squared plus 4x plus 4y plus 1, okay, or let me actually make this -1 is equal to 0. And what I want to do with this here is I want to put in standard form, okay? So this is a little bit tricky. So here's what you're going to do, okay? So you're going to take this equation, x squared plus y squared plus 4x plus 4y minus 1 equals 0, and I want to put in standard form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group, and I'm going to leave a little space, the x's together. Then I'm going to group the y's together. I'm going to leave a little space. And I'm going to take this -1 and I'm going to move it over to the other side. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to complete this square. So you're going to take your b value, divide it by 2 and square it. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 squared gets me 4. I'm going to do the same thing here. And notice how I added 4. So I need to do that to the other side as well. When you complete this square here, this will factor into x plus 2 squared, and this will factor into y plus 2 squared. And this is 1 plus 4 gets me 9. So you can see here, when the positive here, this tells me that the center is -2, -2. And then the radius here, forgive me here, this should be an equal sign. The radius here is what number squared gets me 9? Well, that's 3. So then look here, I can go and sketch this graph, right? So go to the point -2, -2, and then radius 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you can sketch the graph this way. Well, this one is a little bit better. All right, so I know I went through that quick. There's not going to be too much work on this type of problem, but if you ever see something in this general form, you can complete the square to help you get it into this standard form, and then from the standard form, you can get the center and the radius.